I can only imagine how much further along I would be if I had started with that initial idea. Okay, so today we are in Moanalua Valley, and I just want to talk to you guys about my experience on YouTube and during my first month. But before we talk about that, I do want to show you a couple things on this trail and give you a small little Hawaiian history lesson, because why not? Why not, right? All right, let's get started. Middle of the day, it's 10:47, so mid-morning, but we're just coming in here to have a little hike, get a little adventure on. I figured I would show you some of Hawaii's interesting landmarks. So the first one that I want to show you is actually this one right here. It's behind me. So underneath all of those vines is actually a rock wall. There actually used to be a house here, and if we follow this rock wall up, you'll see that there's stairs, and it goes up both ways. So I'll go up this way, and this was kind of the living quarters of the house. I'm not sure if that was a chimney, if it was like some sort of a fireplace or oven, but we have this here, and then this follows all the way around. It's kind of a natural gradient, and it loops all the way back around. So like I said, it's like a house out here back before. I'm not completely 100% on my history facts, but I believe it was the Damien family that lived out here, but I would have to double check my facts. How's it? And I have this little pedestal here. And the staircase goes over there. What's up, man? Excuse me. Then it goes all the way back up. All right, so we're gonna go back onto the main trail. Then I'll show you the rest of the valley. There's some cool hieroglyphics out here, and I'll tell you the story behind the actual petroglyph. Hieroglyph? Petroglyph? Either way, it's carved into a stone, and I'll tell you the story behind that when we get there. But yeah, not a lot of photography ambition going on today. What I really want to do is just get out for a nice hike. I did bring my camera stuff with me, but that's not the priority. So I'm going to keep going and check in with you later. So I'm going to show you the rock, and this boulder, this big stone, has an interesting backstory. I believe it's called the old woman rock, or rock of the old woman, because the backstory of that boulder involves obviously an older woman. And like I said, when we get there, I'll tell you the story. I'm not really seeing anything that I want to take a photograph of. Like, even though there's all this covering and stuff, which makes the light nice and dappled, you know, it's like it's here and there and all over the place, and it's a little softer than it would be if it was just a clear open landscape. But still, I don't see anything that's really catching my eye, either compositionally or in the sense of light. right? So you can either go one of two ways. Either you can have a really nice composition, but the light isn't the greatest, or you could have great light, meaning the light is highlighting something, everything else is darker, so you have a nice focus. Or the light could be like a sunset or a sunrise where the color is just amazing. So the best photos combine the two: great composition and great light. If you have those two, usually you have a great photo. But as long as you have one or the other, usually you'll have a decent photo. But as I'm walking, I don't really see anything that's catching my eye. I might just not be taking my time enough, but nothing really striking me. Okay, so we're here. The boulder is actually right over there. I'm gonna walk on over and let's show you these petroglyphs. So there's actually a couple on here. Given the lighting, I'm not sure how well you'll see it, but if you look here, there's a head, an arm, body, and legs right there. And it looks like some people were here paying their respects, which is amazing and great. As much as possible, I don't step on this rock. I don't think anyone should. If anyone does, that's super disrespectful. But there's more carved in right here. If you can see it, top down. So imagine you live in old Hawaii, right? And there is a order sent out claiming that everything must remain silent. Okay, no one speaks, everyone keeps their mouth shut. And this order comes from the main person in the islands, right? So you can't say no to this. It's not an option, right? But you have a baby, and we all know you can't really control babies. So one day, just an order of that type came out, and there's an older woman and she has a baby, and you can probably imagine what this lady's thinking, right? How am I gonna keep my baby quiet? If they cry, I might lose them, they might be executed. All these things are running through your mind, right? So this order comes out, it's during that period of silent time, and this baby starts crying, and they are crying and crying, and this baby will not stop, right? It's a baby, you can only do so much. So the old woman, she runs away from her home, she comes into this valley, and she runs, and she finds this big boulder, and she hides behind it with her baby. I'm assuming not too different from where I'm sitting right now. The main trail and road, which most people would have walked by, is on the other side. This boulder is blocking that main view, and I would imagine she ducked right behind this. Now, this baby didn't stop crying, supposedly, and no matter how close the guards came and were looking for this baby, because obviously they heard the baby, and they're looking for them and looking for the noise and trying to stop them, and they could not find her. It's real interesting to think that this type of history is in my own backyard, and I never knew it until I was, I don't know, until about 8 years ago. And that's ridiculous to think that I didn't know this stuff a lot longer. But yeah, little background story of Kamananui Valley and the Rock of the Old Woman. So now you can tell your friends that you know a little bit more about Hawaii. Okay, so I've gone as far that's not good. That's a search helicopter. I wonder if someone, hopefully no one got hurt on the hike. That's not good. I just stop here. I'm not prepared to go further down into the valley. I just grabbed the one bottle of water in my backpack, so I don't got snacks. I don't have anything really to get me through that next part of the hike. But I just want to stop here and just take a moment to just reflect on my last month on YouTube. About 3.5 weeks ago, I started this YouTube channel in the hopes of, you know, just documenting my adventures and being able to share these things with my kids later on when they're older, because my daughter's like 1.5 and my son isn't born yet. He's about to be born in September, and they're too young to be out here with me, and by the time they're able to get out here and have fun and enjoy nature, I might be too old and rickety to be able to handle coming out here, or, you know, I might be dead. You never know. So I wanted to be able to share these experiences with them, to document my love of photography and nature and the landscape and all that other stuff. I just wanted to show my kids what I enjoy doing. I just wanted to make them a part of it in the future. I don't know if that makes sense. And along the way, on these hikes and these adventures and stuff, I'll leave little tidbits and pieces of advice and wisdom that they might be able to draw from in the future. And I don't know. I feel like being able to make these videos and post them online forever allows me to be a part of my kids' life forever. So that's the main goal. Along the way, I hope that I share some information with you guys too, help you with your photography, with your process in growing with your photography. Hopefully knowing that I'm not like a self-proclaimed great photographer or professional photographer helps you know that wherever you are in your photography journey, you can get better, and where you're at right now isn't where you're going to stay. Hopefully I can motivate you and inspire you to get out, use your camera, and not to be scared to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. I've made many mistakes. In my first couple hiking videos and stuff, I made a mistake. I've watched them back, and I think I shot them at f/22, and when I look back, I don't know why I chose to shoot at that aperture. I could have picked something bigger, could have picked a wider aperture, and I don't know why I chose f/22. I could have gone just to f/11 and that would have been fine, but I made that mistake. I'm learning from it. I learned from it. I will probably not make that mistake again, or I might. I don't know. I'm giving myself permission to mess up. Yeah, my first month on YouTube, I have, as of right now, I have, I don't know, about a dozen subscribers, about 4 hours of watch time, and I don't know, that's about, I don't know my stats, and I don't have reception out here, so it's not like I can look it up for you. But those are just numbers, and I do get caught up in those numbers sometimes. I will find myself just sitting on my couch and I'll just be refreshing just to see if I got a new subscriber or not. And I know I have to, you know, pull myself away from that statistical area and just enjoy creating, especially in this first year when I can't monetize even if I wanted to, at least for ads wise. I can't, I can basically say all I want without getting demonetized because I can't monetize anyway. So I really have to take this opportunity to just enjoy the process of creating a video, of bringing people along on my journey, and, you know, just practice being in front of the camera, practice being comfortable talking to you in front of other people that are around me in the real world. And that's something I definitely have to work on. I will say putting myself on that twice a week time constraint is a little difficult, but I feel like that's the best way for me to grow this channel and to improve on my filmmaking, because I'm not a filmmaker. Obviously, if you've seen any of my videos, they're not the most cinematic of videos that you can watch on YouTube. They're pretty raw. I try to spice it up here and there as best I can, but I know it's not the best. I know it's not even close to great, but I feel like as time goes by and as I start making more videos, I'll learn more tips and tricks and different ways to improve the videos and make them more engaging and more interesting for you. And I think a big part of that is just me, because the more I get in front of this camera and the more I talk to you, the more comfortable I'll be able to be in an everyday situation. Whereas in the last 10 videos or so, it's really me just breaking out of my comfort zone and being okay with sharing this aspect of my life and not fearing judgment. And that's going to continue on throughout my time on YouTube, I'm sure. But this first month was definitely a big step, because just getting started and putting myself out there in itself took years. So while I've been on YouTube for about a month, this process has taken me years, because I've wanted to do this for so long, but I've stopped myself, or I've made some sort of excuse, or whatever the reason, I just chose not to start the channel. And because of that, I'm so many years behind than I would be had I started when I wanted to. The first time I thought about making this channel was in 2011 when I first got back from college, and I didn't do it. I just didn't make that video, and I can only imagine how much further along I would be if I had started with that initial idea. I'd be 9 years in. I'd definitely be a lot better at editing and being comfortable in front of the camera. But I mean, that's the breaks, right? Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. You just gotta do your best as you go. Sorry, I got people all over here and I'm getting paranoid. I'm not sure what else I can tell you about starting I'm not sure what else I can tell you about starting a channel on YouTube other than it's not as bad as it seems. It's work. It's hard work. Like, you have to put in the effort to get the videos done, to plan it, to execute it. All of that stuff is there. You do have to do the work. But whatever sense of fear you're feeling, like if it's the judgment aspect that you're worried about, or if it's the being comfortable talking to a camera that you're worried about, or if it's just coming up with content or ideas that you're worried about, I promise you, if you just put yourself out there and you upload that first video, it's gonna keep coming. Those ideas are gonna form in your head, and you're gonna get more motivated to put out these videos because you put some out before. Like, once you put that first video on your channel, once you click upload on that thing and it's out there and you get your first couple views, it doesn't have to be a whole lot of views for you to feel like you've done something. And once that first video is out there, that second video is going to be way easier, because you're going to tell yourself, I made a video, I can make another one. And that third one's going to be easier than second, and so on and so on. And you're going to be able to tell yourself, I can do this now because I've done it in the past. But you're never going to be able to tell yourself that unless you just try. And it's probably not something that you want to hear from a person who hasn't made it on YouTube. You probably want to hear this from a person that has like 9 million subscribers and 100 million views a month, but that's not me. But I still stand by my statement. If you try, it'll get easier. And if you're genuine about your niche, about the topic that you want to cover on a day-to-day basis, you will enjoy it more and more as you dig deeper. I mean, I'm sure there is a point of diminishing returns where your hobby becomes a job and that job becomes a burden, But up until that point, it's all fun. I know I've talked about this before, but this is so irritating. Look. When I was walking up to that spot where I just talked to you at, I passed a bunch of kids. They were about, I don't know, high school age or something. There's about 7 boys, and they're all walking together. And I saw one of them eating this. And as I walked past, I heard it fall. I assumed he picked it up. But now as I'm walking back, he didn't. He left a full-on Pringles can on the trail. Like, come on. Like you were strong enough to carry this can out here when it was full, when there was stuff in it. You're telling me that you're too weak to carry this back out with you when it's empty? Come on, pick up your trash, people. So that's pretty much all I got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, consider subscribing up here. If you got some time, watch this video down here. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up on the bottom. And if you did subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. I appreciate you coming along. Take it easy, stay peaceful and free. Peace.